Hi everyone, and welcome to this webinar, Managing Your Cash Flow. My name is Shelley, and I'm part of the Xero education team based in Canada. Small business is at the heart of our purpose, and we care deeply about you, our customers. In these challenging times, we want to provide you with all the support we can and educate you to use Xero efficiently and effectively. Thanks for taking some time out to join me on this webinar today. Cash flow is the lifeblood of any small business, and how it's managed will shape the success of your business. Having ample cash on hand will ensure that your suppliers, employees, and other vendors can be paid on time. In this webinar, we're going to give you some useful Xero tips to help you stay on top of your cash flow. In the next 30 minutes or so, I'm going to take you through how to successfully add a budget into Xero to help you plan your expected cash flow, how to manage your sales and purchases efficiently using some helpful tools in Xero, some other helpful tips, tools, and tricks when it comes to managing your cash flow using Xero, and lastly, I'll show you how to get help if you require some extra support. We all know that planning is critical when running a business. We've all heard the saying, failing to plan is planning to fail. That's why it's so important to have a realistic and well thought out budget in place. We know you can't plan for everything. 2020 has already thrown up some massive curveballs, but in times of uncertainty, having greater oversight over your financial performance and comparing it to a budget will allow you to better identify unexpected deviations and take action accordingly. More than ever now, you need to maintain tighter and stricter control over your cash flow. Let's hop in and take a look at how you can enter a budget in Xero. So where do you find the Budget Manager? If you go into Accounting and Reports, it's right up here at the top. As you can see, I have already created a budget for this demo organization. However, it's super simple to create a budget from scratch. You just want to select a start date. I've chosen January. You can create your actuals. We've chosen 3 months, but you can certainly make the actuals a lot longer. Using your actuals as a basis for your budget is an effective and widely used approach. If you want to create a budget for a longer period than 6 months, just go in and choose whatever the appropriate time period is, and remember to update it. Before you start entering your budget figures, it's important to remember that there are always going to be unexpected or unforeseen events that may impact your ability to reach your budgeted numbers. For this reason, I suggest taking a conservative approach by adding an allowance for the unknown. A buffer is a great way to give your business a little safety blanket should you need it. So how do you go about entering in items into your budget? The blue highlighted squares are where you can enter your budget figures for the year. If I didn't have any figures entered, I could easily enter them on this page. Let's go and take a look at this figure here. If we wanted to change this, we can just type our new figure in, and then it just automatically adjusts. You may have noticed a green arrow when I clicked on this button. If you click on that green arrow, you'll notice that you can make much larger changes. In this case, we wanted to set up a specific amount, so we chose the fixed amount, but you can also adjust this by a certain dollar value or by a certain percentage, and then just click Apply and it will make that change. In another example, since creating this budget, things have changed a lot. Now we're expecting our sales to drop by 10% every month from the month of April on. So what we would do is go into April, click on it, click on the arrow, adjust by a percentage, and make that a minus 10%, and apply it. And you can see it automatically drops it by 10% every single month after that point. Another helpful hint, make sure you save your progress regularly by clicking on the green Save button at the bottom. If you're feeling more comfortable working in Excel, you do have the option to export this template, fill in the details, and bring it back into Xero. When exporting the template, use the Export to CSV option. Fill in all your figures, save it to your computer, and once you're happy with your budget, import it back into Xero using the Import button on the budget screen. Once we're happy with our budget, remember to click Save. Now that we have a budget in place, we can more easily track our results against it. It's simple to run reports by month, quarter, year, or any other period, and compare your actuals to budget. Let's take a look. Let's compare our budget with actual. Let's go into our reports, into our profit and loss. Let's run the profit and loss report in Xero on a cash basis. So we're only looking at cash transactions. To do this, go into our profit and loss, and we're going to go into our report settings, and we're going to change it from accrual to cash. And there's our cash figures. As you may already know, this report shows your income, expenses, and your profits for a selected period. I'm going to run the report for this quarter by changing the date range at the top. Let's quickly update the report. And you can see it's updated to the quarter. To customize this report even further and display the budgeted amounts, we're going to go into the Edit button, which is either at the top here on the right or down on the bottom on the left. Once we do that, we're into the customization page. Let's go and add a column for our budget. We're going to leave our financial quarter there. Our date looks good. And we're going to save that and take a look. You can now see that we've got our budget amounts in the column and we've got our actuals. Now let's say we want to have some further customization here. We're going to add another column, but this time it's a formula. We're going to use placeholders and insert our columns that we want to do our math on. Make sure that we change this and give it a name. And click Done. Once we've done that, you can see now we have a column with our budget variance. So we can see how we're doing compared to budget, actual to budget. You can use this information to make important and timely decisions to help maintain a healthy cash flow for your business. To avoid having to customize your profit and loss report every time you run it, you want to go and click Save As at the bottom and then click Custom. We're going to give it a name so that we can identify it. And remember to save it. You can quickly access this particular report by clicking into the Accounting, Reports, and then go into the Custom tab. And there's our report that we just created. If your business is using tracking features in Xero, please remember that you can add additional budgets into Xero for each tracking option. We'll add a link to Xero Central in the handout for further information on this. Simply put, a healthy cash flow means you're generating enough cash from sales to cover your purchases and other costs. Xero is designed to provide you with greater visibility over your financial performance, but this only works when all invoices and bills are loaded into Xero. When it comes to managing sales, here is a list of tools you can utilize in Xero to keep you fully across your cash position. Sales overview, expected due dates, online invoicing, invoice reminders, and payment services. Let's take a look at sales overview first. So in order to see that, you're going to go into Business and Sales Overview. The Sales Overview dashboard provides really good oversight over the amounts owed to you. You can see what status your invoices are at, and you can click in from here to get more information. In this case, I'd want to deal with those draft invoices to get them sent out and follow up on the overdue ones. If you haven't used the money coming in graph before, check it out. This graph shows you when your business can expect to receive cash from your invoice customers. This graph is driven by the due date of the invoice or the expected date if you have one entered. So if we hover our mouse over, we can see what invoices are due and when. To the right of the graph, Xero shows a list of customers that owe you the most, allowing you to identify customers requiring more focus in terms of collection. As I mentioned before, we can enter expected due dates for invoices if we know the expected payment date is going to differ from the original due date. To get the full bonus of the money coming in graph, as well as other features like sales tiles on the dashboard, it's important we enter accurate expected dates. So how do we do that? From the sales overview dashboard, where we are right now, you're going to go into the awaiting payments tab. You can see a list of all the invoices that are outstanding, due dates, how many days the invoice is overdue by, as well as the expected date column. This feature is perfect if you have specific customers who have negotiated to pay you later than the original due date. If this is the case, use the plus sign, record a note from any conversations you had with your customer, and update the expected payment date, then save. So let's take a look at Bayside Club. And let's say that we had a conversation with Bob. And let's say that he thinks that he can make a payment on May the 10th. So there's our note. And we can go in here, move over to May the 10th, and mark that payment, and remember to save that. Once we've done that, you can see the note shows up here. Once we have recorded the expected date, the graph on the Sales Overview dashboard will be updated in real time. This will provide you with an accurate picture of when we're expecting money to come in and where to focus more attention towards. So let's follow our breadcrumb back. And we can see here, there's our amount here that's coming in the future. We understand that meeting your customers in person is becoming more challenging at this time. Service industries will especially be feeling this as social distancing is becoming more of a reality, if not mandated. We understand that this will disrupt your workflow and business. Thankfully, with a cloud-based system such as Xero, invoices can be generated from your computer, tablet, or phone and emailed directly to your customer, so social distance is less of an issue. Xero also has some great tools to allow you to get paid faster once the invoice has been sent. First and foremost, for these tools to work best, it is critical that we make sure that all of our business details, including bank accounts and terms of trade, are correctly displayed on the invoices we send out to our customers. To check this, we're going to go over to the menu that's underneath your company name, into Settings, and then over into Invoice Settings. Once we're in here, if you use the standard invoice option, you're going to go into Option and then Edit. You're going to want to make sure those terms are correct. And if any changes are needed, just click in here and make your edits. Once you're all said and done, make sure you remember to save. You may consider updating your payment terms to require payment earlier than previously. As an additional note, if you are using a DocX branded theme, and you've made a customized invoice, please download the theme to your computer by clicking here. Open the file using Microsoft Word, enter your bank account details and any other changes, ensuring your payment terms are up to date, and then upload it back into Xero by clicking here. An amazing feature to assist you in getting paid faster is invoice reminders. Invoice reminders save you from having to chase overdue invoices. Once you've enabled invoice reminders, Xero will automatically email your customers when their invoices become overdue. Sometimes customers may need a little nudge before they pay, so why not let the machine do the work for you? Xero has 3 default reminders set up for you when you first turn on invoice reminders. The reminders are sent out at 7, 14, and 21 days after each invoice due date. You can customize the reminders, add additional reminders, or delete these reminders to suit your business. You can also personalize reminder emails to better reflect the way you normally communicate with your clients. To edit, just click on the button here, make your changes, customize using placeholders, and remember to save. If you do use invoice reminders, please make sure that you've regularly reconciled your bank accounts. If you don't, then your customers will receive an invoice reminder even after they've physically paid the invoice, and that will make them grumpy. Xero also has a nice feature that allows you to turn off invoice reminders for certain invoices or contacts. This is useful for those customers that have made prior payment arrangements with you. To exclude certain invoices from getting invoice reminders, you want to go and click on Business and then Invoices. Now remember Bob, he had made those changes and made payment arrangements that are different than the due date. We can click on the invoice, over to Invoice Options, and turn those reminders off. And you can confirm that with the message here. Sometimes you want to exclude certain contacts from getting invoice reminders because you have special relationships with them and are confident that they will pay. To change that, you want to go into Contacts, All Contacts, choose your client, enter your options, and turn off the invoice reminders. This will ensure that no invoice reminders go out for any invoices for basket case. Another great way to facilitate faster payments is to set up payment services for your business. Payment services allows your customers to pay you online via a Pay Now button. Once they click the Pay Now button, which is located on their online invoice, they will be able to pay you immediately via a credit or a debit card or a direct debit. Our data shows that Xero customers using payment services are getting paid on average 38% faster than those businesses who don't. And from your customer's point of view, paying from an online invoice is very convenient and so simple. In today's economy, your customers may have cash flow issues of their own. Therefore, by providing different payment options, such as secure payment through a credit card, it is likely to be appreciated by your customer base. Let's go take a look. To easily add your preferred payment service to your Xero organization, go over to your settings underneath the name of your company, and then go to Payment Services. You can now connect your payment service provider simply by clicking on the Get Started button and then log in. Stripe is our preferred payment service for businesses taking credit card or debit card payments from customers. If you haven't already connected to a payment service provider and think this could help your business during this time, you can sign up with one of the payment service providers that we have partnered with right from this page without leaving Xero. For example, to connect a Stripe account, we would click Get Started and then click I don't have an account. The other payment service we recommend is Go Cardless. This service allows you to collect payments from your customers via a secure online direct debit facility. There are fees associated with using Stripe and Go Cardless, which you can find on their websites. I would suggest that it's more important to compare the cost of fees versus the cost to your business of having unpaid invoices for long periods of time. In the handout, we will include Xero Central links to information and educational courses for those who want to learn more about payment services. We've spoken about how important it is to have oversight of your invoices and how Xero can help you with that. When it comes to cash flow, it is equally important to manage your purchases appropriately. We hear a lot that businesses use Xero for invoicing, but don't have time to enter all their bills into Xero. Entering your bills in Xero while also keeping your bank reconciliation up to date ensures you have visibility around upcoming payment obligations, which help you make better decisions. Let's assume that we have entered all of our bills in Xero. Let's take a look at the upcoming bills graph in Xero through the Purchases overview. You'll find that under the Business and then the Purchase Overview menu. The figures are calculated based on the due date of that bill or the plan date. This helps you gain visibility over payments that are fast approaching or may be overdue. Additionally, it may even alert you that you're not in a position to make certain upcoming payments. And that's where the plan dates come in handy. So what's a plan date? Let's go into Awaiting Payment. In here, you can see all the bills you still need to pay. One of the columns is plan date. This works in a similar way to the expected payment date on the Invoices side. If you've negotiated with your supplier to pay at a later date than the original due date, you can record the plan date here. Just like with the accounts receivable, you would click in the little plus and enter in your date of payment. This will update the upcoming bills graph, and the information available to you will be up to date. Let's go back and take a look here. We can see with the upcoming bills graph, you can extend this out quite far out in advance. And you can see when your bills are due. There are a number of different ways to add bills to Xero. One way would be to click the new link up at the top here, and some of you may even use email to bills feature. However, we understand that entering bills in Xero is time consuming. There is a tool that we offer that will make adding bills to Xero easier. Introducing HubDoc. HubDoc is a tool that streamlines the bookkeeping process when it comes to managing daily expenses and bills to pay. HubDoc receives, or the term we use, HubDoc captures your bills and receipts. It reads the document and automatically extracts the financial information for you. Then it pushes this into Xero for you as a bill. Can you imagine? This is a massive time saver. It's also built into all of our starter, standard, and premium plans. There's an excellent course within Xero Central that shows you exactly how to use HubDoc. There are some other cool features in Xero that will help you to keep track of your cash flow. However, before we rely on these tools to make decisions, we need to make sure that the data in Xero is up to date. It's super important to remember to do your bank reconciliation regularly. Get into the habit of doing it daily if you can. This is very important because the bank reconciliation feature is one of the ways that Xero captures and categorizes data about your business. Once you have reconciled your bank account, your numbers from cash transactions, customer payments, and supplier payments are up to date, and these flow through to your reports. Once your bank reconciliation is completed, make sure the statement balance displayed on the widget is the same as your online banking balance. If the widget is displaying an incorrect statement amount, or if it's displaying a statement balance and a balance in Xero, we need to get this fixed. We have included links to Xero Central on our handout to help you troubleshoot and fix your bank reconciliation. If you need further help fixing your bank reconciliation, Xero support is always happy to help. You can get in touch with them from Xero Central. Let's go take a look at our cash in and out graph. On our dashboard, down at the bottom, there's the total cash in and out. This is a combination of the graphs displayed on the sales and purchases overview dashboards. This graph gives you a snapshot of your cash flow at a glance and allows you to easily identify cash trends or potential areas of concern. Simple but effective. As well, there's the account watch list. This is great to allow you to keep a close eye on certain income or expense balances. To add an account to this widget, easily go up to Accounting, Chart of Accounts. We're going to search for an expense. We want to keep track of our motor vehicle expenses. Just click this on and remember to save it. When you do that and go back to your dashboard, there's our motor vehicle expenses being watched. Your aged accounts receivable summary is another way to keep a close eye on what money is owed to you in the aged receivables report. To access this report, you want to go into Accounting and Reports, into the aged receivables summary. Here you can see who owes you money, how much they owe, and how long it's been overdue. A very useful report. You can also make it more useful with a little customization. To do that, let's click on Report Summary and add some information. An email, a mobile, and the primary person. Remember to update it. Now you have an easy way to contact those clients and remind them about that invoice that's still outstanding. Xero has a feature called our Business Performance Dashboard, which provides even more visibility right on your dashboard. It allows you to view and monitor certain business ratios to help you understand and measure the overall financial state of your business. Let's go check those out. As you can see, there's a range of different ratios which can help you get a picture of your business. The ones that I'll focus on today are the current ratio and the gross profit ratio. The current ratio is a ratio that measures a business's ability to pay their short-term liabilities, due within 1 year. Put simply, it's looking at whether you will have enough cash coming in to pay your bills going out. Broadly speaking, a good current ratio is between 1.2 and 2. This means that the business has 2 times more current assets than liabilities to cover its debts. A current ratio below 1 is not good, and it means that the company doesn't have enough current assets to cover its debts. Where that is the case, your advisor will likely suggest you look at short-term financing options, such as an overdraft or a short-term loan. Underneath the graph, there's a table which shows your business's current assets and current liabilities on a monthly basis, as well as your monthly current asset ratio. This is helpful as it allows you to assess your short-term liquidity each month to aid in making decisions for the coming months. Next, let's go look at the gross profit. You'll notice that the layout is very similar to what we saw for the current asset ratio. The gross profit ratio is a ratio that is commonly used to evaluate how efficient your business is performing. It focuses on what percentage of a business's income is left over after direct costs are taken into account. At the top, we have the summary of our gross profit, that is your revenue minus your cost of goods sold, and net sales from the last 12 months. We also have the bar graph showing the gross profit percentage trend, and below we have the gross profit, net sales, and gross profit percentage by month. The higher your gross profit percentage, the better, as it means that you have more available to cover your overheads and other fixed costs, such as salaries, rent, and other operating costs. In order to keep an eye on these ratios, you can star them. Just like this, they will then appear on the dashboard every time you log into Xero. Small business customers can access a number of ratios themselves. There are some more advanced ratios that only advisors can access and star for you. So please speak to your advisor if that's of interest to you. So that's another way Xero can help you keep track of your business performance. Ratio analysis is widely used by many businesses to pinpoint their peaks and troughs and then develop strategies and initiatives to deal with these situations. Remember, the Xero small business platform also connects to a thriving ecosystem of over 800 third-party apps and connects to over 200 financial institutions. Through the Xero app marketplace, you are able to connect your Xero account to apps that solve your unique business needs, from reporting and cash flow forecasting tools to enabling workflows. Let's go take a look. So if we scroll up underneath the company name and down, we can see the app marketplace. When we go into the app marketplace, you can see that you can filter the apps by functions or by industries. You can also search for an app if you know what the name of the app is. Let's go and take a look at functions. And then we're going to go and find reporting. So we scroll down here to reporting. These are some of the apps that provide cash flow reporting and forecasting functionality. For example, we have Spotlight and Float up at the top here. With a range of apps available, please take the time to understand which app might be suitable for your needs. With COVID-19 sending shockwaves across the globe, governments, central banks, and international economic institutions all around the world are coming together to help maintain global economic stability. This has also prompted banks and governments in all major regions to respond with much-needed business support packages. For small businesses concerned about their cash flow, now is the time to talk with your financial institution or lender about your options. With many banks and lenders offering business customers flexibility and support around managing debt levels or access to working capital, there are experienced staff available to provide advice on how to manage your cash flow. In some cases, this may include deferring principal payments on loans or providing a repayment holiday. Check your bank's website or your local government support page for information on how to access business support services. To help get you started, we've included some links in the webinar handout. When talking with your financial institution, it's important your bank accounts are reconciled in Xero and you're able to access your financial reports. Talk to your accountant or bookkeeper who will be able to assist you if you need help preparing financial reports. You can access Xero Central by entering central.xero.com into your internet browser. Or, if you're in your company, the best way is to go up to the little question mark in the top here. If you want help to do something in Xero, such as turning on your invoice reminders, just type it in the search box, and up come the various articles written by our experts. And you can tell that because it'll have the Xero right here. Or if you scroll down, there's a discussion that was started by our other customers and answers that they have raised. Go into the article, and if it ends up that it doesn't answer all of your questions, you can scroll down to the bottom and contact Xero support. You'll be asked a few basic questions about what the question is and any details that relate to it. You can upload files, things like screenshots, and you can direct the help to a specific organization from within your practice. A helpful hint is when you raise a case, you'll have the option to invite Xero support into your organization. I would suggest you tick the box as it allows our team to help troubleshoot your problem faster. We have hundreds of customer service agents working globally, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to answer your email questions. No question is too big or too small, and we aim to get back to you within 24 hours. If you'd like to learn more about Xero's features and tools, I'd also suggest you check out the Learning tab. This is where you'll find our catalog of educational content covering everything around the features of Xero, as well as some wider education. Xero has collected a number of excellent resources ranging from government support links to webinars we have produced to support our small business and accounting partners during these trying times. These webinars are about 45 minutes-ish long and are completely free. Sign up for as many as you would like. Topics range from the more technical, things like running your business or accounting practice remotely, connecting virtually with businesses and your customers, and business continuity plans, to ones that are more of a well-being topic: stress management, building positive well-being habits, managing energy during times of change. Right now, there are about a dozen webinars specifically for the COVID-19 timeframe, but we will be building upon the collection based on feedback. So please keep returning to the space to see our new offerings. And that's a wrap on my content. For now, take care, be kind, and we hope to see you again soon.